Good evening, Bryant.
Good evening or good day,
I mean,
as
yeah,
it is
it's
here in the future.
yeah. You are in the future. You're in tomorrow already, which means you're
That's
one
right.
day closer to the end of league round four signups. But I am not in the future, and so there's longer amount of time if you're where I am. So um, yeah. So thanks for coming on and doing the cast. I don't know where everybody else is. They seemingly have lives, and after a 13-hour workday, I apparently do not. So I am here, and you are also on vacation. So which is
Yep,
awesome and convenient for me to take advantage. So I did want to note how
loads of free time.
how fantastic we, and not as individuals, you and I, but if we take out the faces aside, look how color coordinated we are on this screen. I feel like the background, the ambiance here is definitely giving me a Friday Night Fights vibe. Although it is the Friday Night Fights podcast today, so um, we are yeah, we're here. Hey, I see Ryan's showing up in the chat. Pally's here, Travis here, Andrew here, Frizzle Dizzle here, Canadian Bear here. I think I seen Tom Walker up at the top there. Yes.
Yep,
B Smith was at the top, and oh, Phoenix Games Australia sneaking in with the first tonight. So I had a little
had to get
inside track
one.
there. So yeah, so Brian and I are going to talk about a few things, highlight a couple points from last week. Um, Striker also here, just finished painting. That guy's always painting, that guy. So we're going to talk about a couple points last week. We're going to give a bunch of updates. Like I said, this is we'll do a little business tonight. As Bryant is also a business owner. I just dabble, pretend that I have one. But we will cover all the things. We'll go over the mini extravaganza news schedule. I think that was released today or maybe yesterday. I think it's today though. We'll give a little bit of our Bryant because he hadn't had any takes on the battle forces. We're gonna visit swoop bikes again just briefly because a lot of speculation whether they're good or not. So I want to kind of get into that a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about worlds because Brian's got a dilemma. We'll talk about the Merc rules and the rules reference guide, a couple pages at the end, talk specifically about allies of convenience. We'll make sure we cover off all the sponsors tonight. Then we're going to get into a little roundtable at the end. We're going to call it thumbs up, thumbs down. We definitely want some callers tonight. We got topics on there, and it's going to be real brief. Going to give us your thumbs up, thumbs down spiel as to all things, and if we get into other things, that's fine as well. Travis is in here tonight, so Travis, just for you, put a new sound clip in. There you go. I don't have all the fixins one yet, but we'll work on getting Drew to record that for us. But there you go. It's in there. And I plan on using it quite frequently. So let's jump over to, oh, what are we covering off tonight? We're going to do This Week in Legion, or Last Week in Legion, I should say. Friday Night Fight. Brian can talk about that. I was there as well, but he can talk about it. League signups, we'll briefly mention that because they are ending on Friday for round four. I think there's 30 people in currently. Um, and Brian, you're not there. So we'll chat a little bit more about that. Just drawing that point of attention,
Just
and
throwing me under the bus early.
yeah, I mean it's an AA5 actually. At this, I'm throwing you under the AA5. And then we'll talk a little bit about AMG news, both releases, some photos that they dropped, the new schedule, announcements, et cetera, et cetera. So let's jump over. But I did promise before we get too deep in the weeds here, you wanted to talk about the, oh, and we also have a video clip, about a 9-minute clip in there. It's unboxing that Bryant did on the Essentials kit. So we will play that. So if you see that happening, that's intentional. We're hoping that you can hear it. If you can't, just let us know right away. But so you were going to talk a little bit about the Oceanic League. You want to get into that?
Yes,
Yeah.
certainly. Yes, the Oceanic League, for those who don't know, is the Australian league that we've been trying to get after post-COVID. Get everyone back into Legion on a regular basis, on a social basis, get new players in, etc., etc. This Saturday, Queensland has
Maybe
their
slide a
state
bit closer to your mic,
finals.
Bryant. You might be a bit quiet for some folks.
Sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
I it's I'm using the headset. This one here is just for show at the moment. I've
It's just this mic's
um,
painted on. It's not even a real.
that's
It's
it.
it's got no
It's
internals. It's budget cutbacks.
I haven't figured out how to get it talking with my with the computer properly yet.
No, you do the
Um,
talking, and the microphone actually amplifies that. That's probably where you've messed up.
thanks,
Okay.
thanks. Damn it. So yeah. Put that screaming on. Put the jar on now. Um, so this Saturday we have states. They are on Saturday for Queensland, and then in August on the 20th and 21st we have our nationals coming up. So it's pretty much wrapping up. The first quick season that we had, 21-22 season, is starting to wrap up, which is fantastic. We've had a couple of hundred people join throughout Australia, and hopefully next year, for anyone that is keen, next year in the fourth quarter, this year in the fourth quarter of this year, we'll be starting things again, getting a lot of traction, getting new players, concentrating on bringing in new people, showing the ropes, just getting people having fun. So yeah, be quite interesting to see how we go. See, I'm going to be playing, but not on an official winning basis. It's been a little while since I've played, so I'm jumping in. I'm not going to take an invite to nationals, as I'll be hosting with Aaron as well. So
Okay.
not gonna compete in the nationals. So
Just realized that I had you were Anthony there for a minute, so now you're no longer Anthony. You are now Bryant. So my apologies.
no worries.
Um, so fourth quarter in Australia. What quarter is that in everywhere else in the world?
Oh,
Also fourth.
so September through December we
Cool.
will start the new season.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
after August Nationals, then we'll start organising just small leagues all around Australia, in each state, in each region. Just fun leagues. Each time there's a league or there's a competition on, then you can get a chance to earn positions into states, depending on how big your area is,
Okay.
how big the player pool is, and then yeah, states will happen early to probably early to mid next year for the next 2022-23 season.
Nice. I noticed Bernard hopped into chat and then promptly we had a thumbs down. Coincidence? I think not.
I think so.
Uh, it's just, I mean, we've already started and he's late. So can I thumbs down? Can I actually thumbs down chat? I'm not sure if I can thumbs down chat, but I would like to at this moment. Anything in Legion for you last week? Were you doing any hobbying, assembly, getting items in your
I
shop? Anything? I mean, you did Friday Night Fight, so
Yeah,
that technically counts. You didn't
yeah,
sign up
yep.
for the league, so that doesn't count. But
No. Would you like some more dinner with your salt? Um, no, I've had a little bit of Legion, but preparing for. Oh, there you go, Canadian Bear. Just thumbs down for you.
yep,
Um, I've done very little in Legion apart from getting in and sending out the Shadow Collective gear,
right.
that we've had in, and doing some unboxing videos. But I've been preparing for my holiday, so work has been very hectic. All spare moments have been going into work.
Right.
Um, that that and watching Legion. So no Legion playing for me.
Okay.
But now that I'm on holidays, I have a whole shelf full of Shadow Collective to start putting together and painting.
Right. I got a message. I did not pick up mine. I just have it set at the store, so I have to also travel 5.5 hours to get it. So I will do that. And I am starting. Well, technically, I am now done, but I'm gonna go work an extra day tomorrow to make up for the work I did not do. I had such a long, such a long day today. Small story about work's not unrelated to Legion, but you end of the school year, what do? You get all your paperwork finalized, you get report cards, all that. It's fantastic. Everything's in the digital world right now, which is great. A 3 hour power outage and then a 4 hour internet outage. Not conducive to doing much on the last day. So that was my yesterday. I went
7 hours of
to
waiting.
yeah, so I went to work about 4 hours earlier than normal time today to account for that, and then I'll do one extra day tomorrow to account for that. So, but past that, I'm actually going to do a Patreon video tomorrow, which will be cool. And then I have 2 months more or less to do a lot of things. So I don't know what's happening Friday because I think maybe a new player might be coming out. So I don't know if I'm going to have a Friday fight because Anthony's away and I think Jace is still away too. But I'm going to film on Friday regardless, and I might just do some hobbying myself, so I might just come hang out with you guys in the slot. And then I'll be doing a bunch of hobby stuff. So I'll actually have something contribute to the hobby section of the Discord, other than the stuff that I'm currently posting that, based on popular opinion, I get no credit for. So, which is like way more painting than all of you guys have done. I can almost assure you, but that's fine. We'll talk about that, and you guys can keep just discrediting my efforts, my hobby efforts. It's fine. You're here to crush dreams. Well, let's speaking of crushing dreams, let's get into social medias because we have all kinds of platforms where we can crush them. If you want to cover off those for us, Bryant, and then we'll do a few more highlights, and
Sure.
then we'll get into some league stuff.
Definitely. So our Facebook page, Star Wars Legion Friday Night Fights, where you can see some updates. Hopefully, we'll start getting some more hobby based stuff and some more content rather than when we're coming up on YouTube, etc. But and then we've got our Patreon at patreon.com/the TerrainStudio. Uh, that puts us in a position to be able to pay for some of the items that we put up and pay for electricity, all that sort of bits and
and
bobs,
and the promos.
and
Don't forget the promos.
also yes, and the promos exactly. And by supporting us, we send you out, as Shawn said, promos. Uh, I believe there's a few spots in the promo tier
Yep.
for that sort of thing, and there's also a whole backlog of videos for terrain building as well from the actual Terrain Studio. So not only do you get the Friday Night Fights info, you get Terrain Studio stuff. Legion underscore Friday Night Fights for Twitter and Instagram both. You can see some of the progression photos of some of Shawn's work in the office, and catch up on bits and pieces and when we're coming out. So definitely jump on them if you're on any of those platforms and support us.
Fact, we'll slide over real quick. I'll do that promo. So I got a notification yesterday morning that the FedEx has received the package and is shipping the promos out. So I anticipate getting them probably within the next, I'd probably say early next week. And there's 16 spots left in that tier 3. Don't forget, as Brian said, you get not only the videos, all the backlog. You basically get every video that's ever been released and never will be. You're in there for a couple. I'll have time sensitive stamps if you want to just be in for the promos that are going on during that time. And in addition, if you want to do any consultative conversations with me, reference building, like I said, I had a new patron reach out, wants to talk some snow terrain. So we're making arrangements. We'll meet. I'll do video chats with people. Walk through. I have a studio, so I can obviously walk you through a lot of things here. It's great to talk product, planning, all those things. I've built a few tables, so I got a little bit of knowledge and insight to share. I'll share it all with you, of course, and cater it specifically to the projects that you have going on, which is fun. And I get something out of it too because I love to hear what people are thinking and banter back and forth with ideas. So that is all tied into that one. So it's not just it helps us, yes, but we try to make as many benefits for you as well. So do appreciate the people have jumped on there, and there's been a nice recent uptick, which is fantastic. So we make the content regardless if you're there. So don't feel like you have to. But we would be remiss if we did not attempt to self promote as Bryant and I are. That's what we do. We self promote. Means
That's it.
yes.
That's it.
My mom says I'm cool. Speaking of self promotion, Friday night fights, we do that basically each and every Friday. So you can join us 3:30, 8:30 CST. Have a game. We had a game last week. We'll get into the highlights on that. We want to make sure that we thank both Legion Terrain, Gamers Grass, the Train Studio where we play, as well as Deep Cut Studios for all the help that they do each and every week to make that happen. So we don't want to miss out on them. We'll probably give them another shout here as we go through, but make sure you guys, go check them out. At the very least, go check out they all have really cool things to offer. That second one there, the Train Studio, pretty suspect, but the rest are really, really cool places to check out. So Brian, why don't you talk about 56? I was there. I didn't put up the image. I should actually. Let me grab it real quick before you get in there. I just want to promote one thing that happened this week on the stream. And it's we've never had it before, but I feel like it was the highlight, and that was all of the hand gestures, courtesy of yours truly. So there's a lot of fantastic charade work going on, and I want to just point that out. So, but other than that, there was also some Legion and some other things. But go ahead, Brian, take it away.
Oh, it's definitely the highlight of the day was the big butterfly going across. I believe there's another point where it looked even better, where you had a side view.
Yeah. I was coming over like
I don't know,
like
yeah.
Mothra flying
Oh, it
over
was
him to.
over the top. Yes,
Yeah.
it was top view.
I think at one point I did dislocate my finger. Don't worry, my thumb is back attached right now. So
Yeah, that's it. B Smith jazz hands, definitely. So
I got
as
bad
you might
thumb.
have guessed, Shawn was playing. Shawn was playing. Uh, Shawn was playing Anthony, and Jace was being lazy.
Yeah,
Um, just off. He might
he
have been
may
off
have
for
been
the
at
other kindy
another
kids.
tournament somewhere in the United
Um,
States of America, but whatever, it's fine.
no, he was just off playing with the other kids in the school from school. Um,
I totally agree with
going.
this. Very valid. Not sure who this individual is, but 100% nailed it. Yep,
Yep.
total
Yep.
jerk.
It's I guess it started off a little bit slowly because one I couldn't I think my computer was just updating and I couldn't see too much. So but we got into the motions and luckily Shawn was throwing us hand signals and rude gestures and things like that, like just to involved. Uh, we had a couple of hiccups. We had Empire versus Seps, and Empire coming across the top. We had advanced positions. We had
Supply drop,
supply drop, and then we
intercept.
had intercept transmission.
Yep.
Um, Anthony coming over the top with Empire, bringing his Dewbacks and Vader, and then sitting in the middle and kind of guarding that middle area. And then we had Shawn coming in from the bottom right, um, and it was it was one of those the games that it was waiting until towards the end to make moves, slowly plugging away. Um, so it was there were pot shots going through, but very little being lost throughout until the last couple of rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of hiccups we missed, and even us missing them, um, even Pally, Jake, and I missing them, was Vader with grappling hooks, was it?
Yeah.
Uh,
So supply drop came out, and yeah, that to be without spoiling the, I think you guys should watch it because I think there's some things to be had there. But yeah, Vader with this grappling hooks basically scale was really a pivotal pull. I I think like I play pretty calculated. It's hard to factor that in. It's an error not to remember that, but supply drop's one of those things. It's quite difficult to track because you sort of commit a list to memory and then forgetting who has what, and it's like even the ones I was pulling, I was like, oh yeah, they have this, or oh yeah, they have the ability to dodge, and yeah, it is one of those tricky ones. I don't play a lot of supply drop, to be honest. I feel like I don't like I'm not a fan of the the randomness. Not because I don't think it's a cool mechanic. I mean, I'm not a fan of the randomness that it can be critical, right? You can get a back to capsule, and then suddenly it's like, oh, geez, that wound that I thought I was going to have is now back. And yes, we have mechanisms to do that, but you pay points for that, like maybe 19 points, for a medic or something like that. So, but it also does make fun that there is randomness in the game. So I don't like it because I'm not a
yeah,
fan of random in this case, but I think it is a cool thing to have in there. Not rolling off multiple suppression 2 times in a row, also not cool for me.
yeah.
So two really bad things, and remembering impact would be critical. So
Impact, yeah.
Anthony's away. We're gonna spin
Impact's
this and do this one again, and see how that goes. But yeah, no, super fun. Pretty cagey in terms of, as you said, staying away from the middle. Um, I don't know if there's a better route. I feel like if I wanted to do it all over again, I might take a slightly secondary route. But I think me not killing the dewback when dewbacks when I wanted. I will tell you this thing. I went to bed that night. Racking my brain around the calculus of how the dewbacks, because I had played dewbacks I think 3 times previous in other games and practice games, against this list, and typically it's pretty much they die. They rarely reach the lines, and they don't do a lot of damage if they do, because it's usually one. But I couldn't figure out. I was like, why did I not kill these faster? And then I started going back, and I was like, I don't think I recall ever converting an impact in this game. And I did quick look through, and I think 6 or 7 is what I missed. Which, 6 or 7 is 6 or 7 more saves. On average, that should be 3.5 more wounds, and there was a couple that lingered with a wound. So, not to foreshadow, but that's on me to remember that. So, and I hadn't forgotten it in any other game up to then. So, I know Pally said they were screaming advice in my ear, but nobody seemed to remember me, or remind me, I should say, about impact. So next time we'll get 4 casters, so we don't forget that. So that is actually the trick. But no, it was a good game. I had fun doing it. I liked listening to the guys in my ear, although it was slightly distracting as I was trying to listen to Anthony too. But the
And
voices in my
we
head
didn't
were
want to give you
real.
advice,
Yeah, you guys were not giving me. I think your advice was run Kalani up the middle, and the second Kalani even took a step forward, he dies. So that
Yeah,
would have
well,
really helped me. So
should
it
have
took
done it earlier.
six. It took 6 turns for me to come to the conclusion that you guys, I think, were yelling from turn 0. So there's that. But no, it's fun. I like playing Legion, and I like getting out from the desk to play too. So and that's kind of why I'm enjoying the league so much. Part of why I'm enjoying the league so much. There's many reasons why, but yeah, front like Kalani advice is best. I mean, forward cohere Kalani. I mean, lead from the front. Shouldn't that be what every leader does? Except for him, except for actually any droid leader at all. So, but yeah, go check it out. It's on there. The highlights are there, and like I said, those jazz hands were pretty fantastic. I actually worked. I've been working on them since, so they'll be a little bit more, little better. Maybe some fingernail polish next time or something. So,
Yeah, I
um,
believe we got 3 or 4 different. A little bit more, a little bit more of a repertoire would be good.
yeah, I mean, you can only go to the well so many times with the Mothra ones, so I need to step my game up there. So maybe some
You've got a
shadow
nice
puppets
dark
or something.
background there.
Yeah,
Shadow puppets. Yeah, I was just about
shadow
to say we
puppets.
got shadow puppets in the background on the grey.
Yes. Okay, nobody wants to hear any more about that game. Let's jump over and talk about the league. League signups are happening right now. July 1st, they end. As I said, I think there's 30 folks in there. You can join our Discord. I don't know if Pally, since he's in. Pally, are you able to throw the Discord link in there? And by the way, folks, I think we opened it up, so you should be able to copy and paste and share and have your folks join. They are not just gray; they are literally painted. But if you want to share the Discord link, we can get some people in there. So if you want to sign up for the league, you're welcome to join. You can join right now. You don't have to have participated in any of the previous rounds at all. You can actually come and join at any point. Um, there is lots of room, and you'll be placed in a group accordingly.
And you'll get to
Um,
play most of us.
yeah, I think yeah, there's lots of people in there. I'm looking forward to the new scramble for round 4 as we re-scramble it. It is special forces. I think it is Magna Guard, melee Wookiees in both Gar and Rebels that are banned, as well as ISF. I think that are banned for the deadline. Travis is the 1st, so Friday. Yeah, so there'll be okay, I will get that Pally then. Yeah, so the deadline will be there. You just you can send your list, and you just cannot use any of those special forces. We currently, just in case people are asking and wondering, we are not allowing anything in the league that is not currently in the mod. So no proxies. If it becomes before Friday and people want to hold for those till Friday, that's fine. I have no inside information as when that will be released. But if Shadow Collective doesn't make this round, it will likely be available for next round. And Shadow Collective, the league round they come in, will have no bans. So they'll be able to play wide open until the next one. But they don't. Well, the heavy one will be banned, but I don't think have anything I don't know if swoop bikes will make it in for the support option or not. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But Shadow Collective at this present moment, time of recording, is not currently in the league. So there is that. So go join up. We would like to see you there. Okay, let's cover off. Let's cover off a bit of the Patreon update, and then we'll get into some of the AMG news. So, just in case you guys are tracking, this is the studio wall that we've been working on, or I've been working on, I should say. And I have a couple photos here for you. We can sneak these in. The wall's looking pretty sharp. I will say that is the current rendition there. So that's just one angle. That is the other one. So I have the trim up for the window. So if you guys are following along on the Patreon, that's what it looks up kind of close up. I painted the entire wall without a single paintbrush. I've actually used a cloth, mostly cloths to paint it. So kind of washing the walls, wax on, wax off style. To get that sort of that concrete look. So I was joking this morning on my own personal Facebook page that I really like how I've put so much work to cover a concrete wall with foam and then make the foam look like concrete. So it's a really valiant effort to do a lot of work, but that was already basically in existence. So and next up is going to be putting the fake glass in the window, and then actually putting in the LEDs. Are going to go around that little strip there. And then we're going to do a Friday Night Fights, probably a vinyl decal across there in airbush, and then we'll have the lights sort of reflect off the shards of glass, if you will, to give it a bit of a look. It's really just a background for the studio, but it's much better than looking at the white wall that was there. And it's just something fun. But it's just a Patreon project. It's fun. Your guys' funds help that out, and it's nice to get some content up that's different. If you guys are thinking about doing projects on your own or looking just for techniques, there's lots that I can share relevant to that. So I have some videos up, Travis, right now of some aspects of it. I was mentioning I made some clips. The painting of the wall has to happen pretty quickly and simultaneously. So what I'm going to be doing tomorrow is I'm going to take another sample piece and I'm going to show folks how to do all the techniques from start to finish just on a sample piece, as it's very difficult to film while simultaneously doing the wall. But I'll have some videos both on technique and then showing the technique itself. But great question. Thanks for asking on that. So, and then I'm going to be doing some of the detail bits and get those up on the wall as well. So yeah, it's pretty fun. It looks pretty neat if I say so myself, which I just did, I guess. Okay, so let's jump in. Brian, any thoughts on this or comments related or?
I've, yeah, I'm in awe. I think it's fantastic. It's not something that I would be able to do. It's not really in my repertoire. On this sort of scale, this sort of level of detail. Some of the just being on the inside, being able to see some of the progression photos already. It's amazing. And I did like your comment that you posted that you're covering a concrete wall with foam and then making it look like concrete.
Yeah,
Very different looking concrete.
yeah, it's fair.
But yeah, yeah.
I'm actually thoroughly enjoying. There's one aspect of this. Like I said, Zuri comes down on occasion. She doesn't come in the basement a lot, just because we have 13 steps. I love when she comes down because I never technically know, like I have no idea what she's gonna say. So she'll come down where we've convinced her that, well, I've convinced her that there's some sort of monster on the other side of the door. She will not knock on the door ever. She's always interested in how much damage, the color, etc. She likes to come and look at it, but she's very much afraid of the wall. And I'm not trying to scare my daughter by any means. She knows monsters aren't real, but we like to play this game with the door. But I think it's really cool when I get to see a small mini person next to a full scale, basically full scale model, 1-to-1 scale piece of terrain, if you will. And it's really kind of neat, just because I can take it down in parts and pieces, and she can see those and then put them all back up, and it looks like something. So that's been really fun. So yeah, hashtag bully Shawn, yes. Travis is. I mean, if you need help convincing your wife that this would be amazing for your kitchen, I have no problem helping out there. A consultative call if you guys need some convince him, counseling, whatever. I'm there for you, buddy. I got you covered.
Like a bantha.
I'm like a bantha. I'm there. So should make the door functional and have a light. Okay, sure. So it was a 10 and now it's a 4.5 because it doesn't have a stormtrooper uh, standing behind this
Finding faults wherever
functional
we
door.
can
Yeah,
now.
exactly. Wow, Tom's a tough guy to please. So hopefully the patrons aren't, and they don't all mass exodus based on the fact that I'm now not living up to Tom's expectations. So
We
speaking of
tried to get him to do an LED screen back where the window is, and then you could put things like a bantha on in the
for
background, and
for sure. I mean, why don't we just get a fully functional eWeb blaster and put that on the Friday Night Fights table and just like take shots every time we want to? So it seems
I just like
all
to know
good.
why you hadn't thought of that earlier.
I mean, I hate eWebs. That's why. So, all right, let's get in some news from the streets, some real stuff. Flip table, exactly. Um, functioning flamethrower. Wow. I'm gonna have to call my insurance company to see what liability insurance I'm gonna need before I start
Do you have
assembling
fire?
flamethrowers inside. So, um,
Welcome back, guys,
I'm gonna
to
stop here for a second.
video number 5.
Boop, there we go. So Bryant, I'll just one caveat about insurance. I have once when I was getting insurance for the business, I asked them and I said, like, I have house insurance? Do I also need business insurance? Yes, you do, because you're working in your house. And I said, I have house insurance. They're like, you can never have enough insurance. Insurance is for 2 people. And they're for 2 reasons: accidents and stupid people. And I feel like they're somehow related and interconnected. I don't consider myself I'm hoping not to have any accidents, and I try not to be stupid. But I'm fully realizing when I'm getting suggestions like this, and this is on the internet forever, and if ever I had fire here, somebody's going to link this up and say, were you trying to assemble a flamethrower in your location? Because I saw this pally fella. Yeah, it'll just be bad. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about this video, Brian. So you give the preview, and then I'll let it play, and we'll get a break from speaking.
Alrighty. So basically, being a retailer, I get the stuff before release date. So it gives us a chance to be able to showcase what is coming out in the boxes. It's pretty much previewed via Atomic Mass anyway, but a lot of it you don't get to see the sprues, you don't get to see some of the different poses and some of the extra bits and pieces and go over things in detail. So this is something that we will be going on in the future. You'll be able to see it both on Friday Night Fights as well as the Phoenix Games YouTube channel. And hopefully everyone gets to be able to get a little bit of a better view and better understanding of what's coming out, what's actually in them, and the quality of things that are in them.
Perfect.
And be nice, because this is literally my first time doing these sort of videos. So if there's comments that you'd like to see something different, something or hey, get rid of that monotone voice, then by all means let me know, just in a nice way.
Okay, just pointing out, you've hashtagged me as bully. You've got people to criticize the work, and now I'm supposed to say be nice. Okay, got it. All right, here we go.
This one is the
Let us know that you guys can hear
Essentials
this as well.
Basically, for those who want to get started, especially if you are going to jump in with, if you're a new player, you're jumping into the Battle Forces group. If you're wanting to buy a nice little starter set with as the Battle Forces, then this Essentials kit is going to be the one that's going to get you all the bits and pieces that you need to start up. So instead of having to buy a core set now, you can just get the Essentials kit and pick what you want. So if you don't want Vader, if you don't want speeder bikes, or you don't want barks and droidicas, then you can just jump in where you want. Or if you want to get a fully kitted out Battle Force, and then just grab a couple of extras just to fill the gaps, then grab the Battle Force and the Essentials kit. Now, I'm Bryant. I'm from Phoenix Games Australia. You can find all of these units They're available as of the 17th of June. So they're, as of doing this video, they're about a week away. You can jump onto phoenixgames.com.au, and if you want an in-depth view on what all these units do, and their specialty, and you can get some opinions from some well-versed players, Shawn and Jace from our Friday Night Fights crew and Friday Night Fight podcast. You can jump onto the Terrain Studios YouTube channel. We also have a Discord that you can jump in and just chat with people, and join our league, join our TTS league if you wish. So, without further ado, let's jump into the Essentials kit. Now, this one, is, as I said, is just basically going to be an extra way of getting into Legion. Or if you want extra dice, you've got broken range tools like these. And by the looks of these, oh look at that! Yeah, once we get into these, that's fantastic. Even though I've got multiple sets, I think I'm going to need to have one of these anyway. Alrighty. So in here we've got dice. We've got your normal dice set, three of each dice. You've got an updated version of the speed tools. And as you can see, they've got a different style of connector. Not too different, but different. Now these are probably going to be the most exciting. So your range tools, they look a little bit fatter, but the best part is you now get 6 range 6. That's cool. Makes it much easier to measure your deployment area, and the connectors look much more sturdy and fatter. If you have a look at that, I don't know if anyone else, I'm guessing they have, has snapped connectors. I think that's the bane of the range rulers is those little thin connectors. Every time you measure and you're fiddling because you're waiting for your opponent to do the next thing, or you're just thinking about stuff and you lean on it the wrong way and then snap. I've got multiple ones like that. Super glue does well, and magnets do well, but you know what does better? Thicker connectors, and they've thought about it. Well done, AMG. Again, nice artwork within these within the boxes. Let's just leave that one. We'll leave that one down there. Your cards. So you've got sets of your starting cards. So you've got one set of the Empire Rebels, and you've got one set of the clones, which is cool. So you can play. You can use yours for your factions. Updated cards, which is good. Just the originals, but it's definitely good to have updated versions of the cards. But you've also got skirmish. So you've got all the updated skirmish cards. So you no longer have to chase down that elusive kit that they brought out. They have released all the skirmish ones as well, which is great. Because down here in Australia, we did not get those kits, or we haven't got them yet. Whether we are going to get them or not, that's yet to be seen, but at this stage we haven't. So now we have official skirmish cards, which is fantastic. And just your normal cards. I like your new little token. And there we are. We've got your victory tokens. I like the new victory tokens. They're generic, and you might finally be able to give one to Chewie, even though they did in the recent movies. But normals. One thing I do notice is, now maybe I'll go looking in the box again, but there's no plastic middle bit for your round counter, which is no real biggie because I don't know how many of you out there actually use the round counter. I just usually use my cards as an indicator, but if you're a new player, you probably do want to have a round counter there. Just set these out so you can see them all. But that is essentially, pun intended, the essentials kit. Oh, there we go. And look at that. And there's the spinner. So I take that back. They have included everything. So there's the essentials kit. I hope you enjoyed that. We have the starter kit, the full Shadow Collective starter kit, and the Black Sun Enforcers coming up early next week. They're on another shipment, so they will be here early next week. And we will update and put another couple of videos out to include those. Again, if you are looking for any of these, then by all means, you can jump onto phoenixgames.com.au. And if you are looking for an in-depth discussion on them, jump in onto the TerrainStudio's YouTube channel, which holds all of the Friday Night Fight games and Friday Night Fight podcast. If you want to join in online, jump into the Legion Academy Discord channel. We will. I'll put a link down below. And for the Discord channel, or you can just direct message one of us at the Friday Night Fights or at Phoenix Games, and we can help you with a updated link. So jump in, and it's probably the first time I've had to say this, but like and subscribe to Phoenix Games. We'll be doing a lot more of these. We'll be updating these and going through a back catalogue of what's there with some information videos. So hope you enjoy, and see you soon.
Oh, this guy with the sick drops there. Nicely done. Nicely done. So you heard him. Go get the likes and subscribes there. So yeah, so we'll probably drop in those clips, but thanks, Brian, for doing that. And as he said, there should be a few more up there, and I think there's a couple more to upload as well. So if you guys don't have the stuff or you want to see, that's fine. And as we get more things out, we'll get those a bit tighter. We missed a week of casting when they first came out, so we'll have them a little bit more tight to the releases as we get them. But appreciate
and
appreciate
hopefully
you
we'll
doing
be able
that.
to be able to do them where we can also chat and
Yeah, just do them
well,
live or
instead
whatever.
of just me. Yeah, instead of me just showing what's there. It's a little bit hard to get that sort of info into the podcast purely because for me, a Tuesday night is usually a Wednesday lunchtime for me, which is smack bang in the busiest part of my day in my real job, or in my day-to-day job. So it's hard to jump in on podcast stuff. But yeah, we'll get them out, and so you guys can enjoy them, and more frequently we'll have them out for people to enjoy prior to the actual release date. So
Yeah.
if you haven't made a decision on what you want to get and whether that's conducive to your army, then hopefully these will help you guys.
Yeah, I just want to point out this is a real job too, Brian. Just so you know.
That's why.
This is a serious job, really serious.
Yep.
There's probably only like a couple 100 million people that could do what we're doing right now, so it's pretty elite group. So, let's have it's fine. So Mini Extravaganza is coming up July 14th to 16th now. So just cross the line to that June one. So it's nice that they're doing it again. Last week I put a couple question marks as to the schedule. This week, today, they were kind enough to release that. So I'm sure they tuned in and heard that. But nonetheless, here it is. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is great. I'll be off. So I'll be, you know what? Will I be? Am I in a first aid course? No, I think I'm not. I need to take first aid because when I get that flamethrower assembled, I feel like that's going to be a requirement for sure. Yeah, it's probably
emergency
order of operation there. Flamethrower after first aid. Got it. Okay. So gonna have the opening ceremonies on Thursday. Star Wars. They're gonna have a hive of scum and villainy. That's gonna be followed by some. This is the way painting Din Djarin, so that's cool. So a bunch of Legion to kind of open up for the first 3 hours, or I should say, opening ceremony likely to include some Legion information. Then there's going to be
getting ready for his 21st of October release.
Oh yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. So well in advance. That's cool. Then there's going to be some other stuff on there, X-Wing related and Marvel Crisis Protocol related. Then they're going to have rapid reinforcement, customizing your Armada fleet. So they got that still in there. Then we're going to have a hobby hangout in the evening. So they're going pretty late. They're pretty long, like 12-hour stretches here. So they're going to have some Star Wars Ewoks if you're interested in those little critters. Then on the Friday,
definitely.
They have the Need for Speed, so maybe some swoop bike action there. Although they've done some swoop bike painting already, I believe I saw. Then there's going to be good night, B Smith. Yeah, enjoy your sleep. Then there's going to be Outer Rim Shadow Collective gameplay, so I'm most looking forward to that. So that's going to be great. And then there is going to be Mini Extravaganza reveals, that hobby hang, and I don't think that was on the last one. So. Din Djarin replaces. Oh, fair enough. That could have happened, Striker. So, but yeah, that Mini Extravaganza reveals. That's kind of cool. So stay tuned for that. Then sliding over to a Saturday program for destruction, painting battle droids. So that's going to be kind of cool. It doesn't say what they're painting, but it doesn't really matter because droids are awesome. Then full of surprises, a Star Wars stream that's happening at 1:00. And then there is tools for world domination. I don't know what that's all about, but that scene, I mean, maybe it's that, maybe there's flamethrower assembly guide in there. I don't know. That feels like a pretty world dominating weapon. And then they're going to have the closing ceremonies wrapping up a bit earlier on the Saturday. I can't blame them though after that marathon of sessions that they plan. So that is the new schedule, July 14 to 16. So anything standing out there for you?
Do you think the tools for world?
Yeah.
For me, I'm definitely looking at seeing the speeder bikes, the swoop bikes coming up, and seeing what else new is coming, because they've dropped a lot of new stuff, but I definitely think that they've kept a bit under wraps. So I'm very keen on seeing what's coming up. Seeing the hobby hang mini extravaganza reveals.
Right.
On Friday. But
the
yeah,
gameplay will be cool.
For world domination.
Yeah, it's a painting stream. They're saying MCV. That was a joke. I see that there's a paint icon beside that. I know they're not assembling a flamethrower. But if you tune into my channel,
they do a lot of talking while they paint. Are they going to be chatting? What are they going to be talking? That's a 2-hour gig. So what are they going to be chatting about?
I don't know. I know.
To me, are they going to be chatting about the bits and pieces that they released? Was it the little game, the specialized game bits and pieces that they released to be able to play through each extravaganza?
Oh, I'm not sure.
The scene, what is? Oh God, can't remember. Can't think of the word. But the specialized rules that they bring out every extravaganza.
Gotcha. I think it's I don't know if I have know if I saved that screen from last week or not. I don't think I did. I do think I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. Will they be giving us
Fair.
update on
Fair.
that went? I would say.
Right.
Outer Rim Showdown.
Yep.
I think is going to be good fun. They seem to be getting better with their gameplay streams. So
Right.
So I'll be looking forward to seeing how they utilize the Shadow Collective. So that will definitely be good.
Should be good. Should be good all around. So I know that we've seen all this stuff. It's great. Bryant said he's got a load of stuff to assemble. I'm going to be picking my stuff up probably. My wife's going away on the 1st, and they're gone for a month. So pretty much I'll have nothing to do. So I'll probably make that trek up and grab that stuff next week. And then I'll start probably getting cracking on my droid. So this might sit on the shelf for a bit for me, but I am looking forward to getting that stuff. So, and then also we talked briefly about Battle Forces last week. I'll ask you the question. I'll save it for the roundtable. We'll get because I want to make sure we get there with some time today. So, just want to say though I'm super.
We can chat about release dates and stuff.
Yeah,
that
for sure.
In the roundtable.
Super excited about this. By the way, I just want to show that one more time because.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. We saw swoop bikes, which we're going to talk about here in a second. And then I just caught this photo here. So I didn't see that, and I don't know if that's just a new photo, but just another angle of the swoops there. And then we got some Black Suns in there, and then you got the Vigo there in the back. So, yeah, looks cool. Those swoop bikes they're cool. Yeah.
The minis that they brought out in this wave, they're some of my favorites. I'm a fan of Shadows of the Empire from way back, with Fallen and stuff, and having all of those sort of underworld seedy characters, and them being brought out into the game instead of just mainstream units. That gets me excited for Legion, the future of Legion. So.
Let me go back there for a second. I don't think I'm going to have mine riding this high, though. For me, I feel like I want my swoop bikes like barely off the ground.
Skimming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
And how if you were riding a swoop
just
bike...
Just over rocks or something like that.
If you were riding a swoop bike, what would your style be, Bryant?
If I was good at basing,
yeah,
then I would be. Mine would be skimming the ground, like not too far off, probably half of what they've got, and then I would have rocks on either side, so it made it look like you were going through a little pathway or something with rocks on, sort of on either side. Like just coming up to like where the base of the bike would be, but you can definitely see that you were going in between, not just over the top of rocks. That would be my cool view on how to base that.
Do you know how I would ride a swoop bike? There's only one correct answer to that. I was really hoping you're going to segue, but I'm glad that you went into a full hobby segment there. Thank you. No, I agree. I also will have mine barely skimming the ground. For me, I think I'm okay with the speeder bikes being a bit taller, but yeah. Wow. Now with full action. See, this is the primary reason why we do a video cast, because if this was an audio version, no one would have saw that. So
there we go. Ready?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Like a bantha.
Go on.
Wow. And if we don't get any more thumbs up for that alone, I'm going to be slightly disappointed. So that was all the way from the future, folks. So speaking of swoop bikes, let's get into it briefly. Again, I just want to sort of I want to put all these seeds down so that we can get into the round table and really have people tell us what they feel. But this week and just around, okay, Ryan, you don't get to come in and boo me. That doesn't happen, my friend. When you look so excited for the auto clip the whole time. Absolutely, I was excited for that. There's a reason that we have this soundboard in here. We could put all kinds of cool things, so it's perfectly
I was
fine.
completely oblivious just talking about
Yeah,
how I would seriously base these and
yeah.
yep.
I mean, I you don't want to know, Ryan, but I do. There's literally underneath each of your comments that are on here, there's one that says add to broadcast, like this one, and there's one that says ban, which would be the opposite of adding you to the broadcast, and it would eliminate you from all future uses of the chat. And Pally says yes. So let's get into the swoop bikes here and just briefly talk, because I've seen many people on the internet, and I'm not saying anybody is right or wrong, but kind of talking about maybe swoop bikes are really bad, or not good, or maybe not as awesome as other people think they are. So I'm not going to give my opinion because I gave it last week, and maybe I will later. But let me know what you think about swoop bikes, and you guys can let us know in chat. But more importantly, you guys can call in and really let us know. But what do you think about swoop bikes at first blush? Is it something you gravitate towards? Is there any interesting things? Is there some limitations? Give me all the skinny on swoop bikes.
For me, for the price point that they're at, they have a slightly different pool against like your Empire speeder bikes, but they're pretty much the same with extras. I see them with extras. Yes, you lose a white dice, and you lose a little bit of range. You lose that 1 to 3 range instead of the 1 to 2 range. Um, I don't know. You do lose the fixed front though. There's no fixed front in Impact One, but you have a much bigger arc. Sorry, you don't have an arc. So um, so that alone for me makes these better. They're speeder bikes. They're so versatile, and you can put them on a 360 turn, no worries. So it's not like you have an issue getting anywhere and getting the right angle or staying within range two. Um, yes, you're going to get shot at more, but that's speeder bikes. The speeder bikes are flimsy anyway. Um, and having independent aim one or dodge one, then you're going to be able to get dodge tokens if you want to. So yeah, I personally, for me, I think these are an upgraded speeder bike, Empire speeder bike. Um, yeah, a little bit less in certain areas, but the counterbalances that they've given them, I think, make them more versatile. I would rather these than over Empire speeder bikes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put this out because I'm really enjoying chat right now. Striker, you need to call in. Ryan, you need to call in. Pally, you need to call in and cool these two down. Um, Frizzle, you need to call in. Canadian Bear needs to call in. We need to hear all of the things. I'm not even going to say anything more, but other than the fact that I think they're awesome. But I think one of the things that I just want to mention about this is that um, without playing this, and I think playing vehicles, there's a particular style. I would say you can play vehicles like any unit in the game very poorly, and you can play vehicles and do things with them that are as a parallel to every stat that is on there. So what I mean by that is blocking, utilizing them to the objective advantage, taking advantage of terrain based on their ability to move, the size of them, the real estate that they take up. There's all kinds of things that you can do, and it's not meant necessarily inherently obvious when you look at the card. Um, the physicality of these on the table, I think, is going to be quite impressive in terms of how much real estate they're going to take up. That could be a downside as well, depending on how you look at that. And I know that there are repulsors you can kind of move through, but they will take up real estate. And based on how you cohere and do things with them, I think that there is lots of benefits that are are going to be achieved through good play of this unit. Do they have the best weapon? No. Is there better weapons? Yes. Are they flimsy? Potentially. But let's not like discount the fact that you can kind of come in from at a particular angle given the terrain. You can come in from pretty far range band, take that shot, and then kind of get back out of a range band, or potentially into some cover based on how far these things move. So I think there's a lot of intangibles that, given the fact that we've not seen them on the table and we don't have a plethora of gameplay, I'm going on vehicle experience alone. I think there's going to be something to be had here. So we've talked a little bit about Fluttercrafts. There's kind of I feel like this unit has some similar opinions about it as we've heard about Fluttercrafts. But Pally talked a lot about Fluttercrafts. Michael has used Fluttercrafts with great success in the league, and so I'm encouraging him to come on and talk about that as well. I think Fluttercrafts, when I played against them, I feel like they weren't able to do a lot, but that is just one instance, and I think there's, again, not saying they were played poorly. I'm just thinking that let's give these guys a chance before we condemn them. So I think there's lots of benefits here. So and we'll get into that.
I have their roles in certain areas,
Yeah.
and certain lists, like guys in chat saying Pally and Sat saying sweeps in Gar sit in a weird middle ground where there's just two units that do their thing better. I agree. But then if you've got rebels, if you're chucking them in rebels, then rebels don't have they have tauntauns, but not something, they're different. So yeah, will they work in rebels and be quite effective in rebels for what they do? Then yeah, I think they will. And overrun, I think is something that people haven't really gotten into enough. Kind of got overshadowed by the buses and Wookiees and getting in people's faces quickly. And Fluttercraft, I don't think, is one of those units that I don't think has been looked into enough. As you said, Michael's getting success out of them,
Yep.
and doing quite well with them. I think it's something that people have just not found how to utilize them properly. Just like some of the other units that are out there, like Lando and Callus,
Right.
where utilizing them in their way is great, but you've just got to find that way.
No, that's a fair point. So I want to also point out that our chat's kind of spicier than a spicy chicken sandwich right now, which is really cool. Pally's saying these are the best support in Shadow Collective right now. That I 100% agree with that. That's a hot take, but I do agree with that they are the best support. And there's all kinds of chat. I like this. Head options, you are correct, Frizzle. That coming with 6 head options is an immediate buff for this box for sure. Head swapping potential, all that kit bashing is great, and the fact that these really lend themselves. These should be piled with cargo. So I can't wait to show you guys the rebel theme when I finished up the army that I have that other Jace is painting for me, because it's going to have. I'll give you a preview. One of the units in it is going to be an AA5 stacked with so much terrain. It's actually twice the height, and it's actually towing a dewback behind it. And one dewback is actually going to be strapped to the roof because it unfortunately did not make it. So it's fantastic. It's going to look super. Just picture like Jurassic Park style with the T-Rex strapped down to the flatbed. It's going to be that, but dewback on the top. It's going to be awesome. So, yeah, it'd be kind of like a bantha, but I don't have a bantha, so I'm using dewback. All right, so we'll visit swoop bikes in the end here. So keep track of the bantha count tonight. So Worlds, Bryant's in a dilemma. He and I and I've just commandeered staying with him. He and I have LVO tickets. I have a Gen Con ticket, and there's a small possibility, it's getting bigger, that I might not actually be able to go to Gen Con due to my wife wants to travel, and I want to prioritize that, and so we'll see how that works. But it doesn't matter. I also have an LVO ticket. I also have a Worlds ticket. Brian's got to travel over from the future. It's a problem. It's a real problem. He's
going to travel back in time.
Do I go to Worlds or do I go to LVO? Because I think the feasibility of traveling from Australia is a lot. Is not a lot. There's not a lot of feasibility probably doing that twice for you. And I'm not projecting, but maybe twice is a lot.
Yeah.
So does he do LVO? She was going to go to she was going to travel to. I just don't know if they're going to be back, Pally. That's the problem. And yeah, dog situation. So by the way, looking after dogs in a kennel is 3 times more expensive than looking after a human child in daycare for 10 times longer. I don't even understand it, but whatever. I digress. Bryant needs to know: is he going to Worlds? Is he going to LVO?
And here's the thing to put my 2 cents in on this.
What? No,
LVO, I
your
can
opinion
go.
doesn't actually matter, Bryant. It's unnecessary.
Here's some details of reasoning. Okay. um, yeah, I thought you were going to be nice. You completely missed me not being in leagues, and I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be nice, Shawn, today.
Yeah.
Um,
Join the league. It's free and no travel required.
um, so LVO, I have tickets. I can play the whole weekend. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to have a world invite purely because I'm running things on our side, so I can't just give myself a ticket. Um, we have tickets available. We have AMG has sent us an email saying yes, we'd like you to be able to utilise those world invites as proper invites. We haven't nutted out the details, so we haven't completely locked that in yet. But Australia will have the opportunity to be able to do that. But me actually having an invite to Worlds to compete is not going to happen. So I've locked in tickets to LVO. Probably only going to travel once, to be honest. Maybe a second time if the stars align, etc., etc. But yeah, not 100% sure.
All right.
Which is going to be what am I going to get the most out of as a trip? When I go over, I will also be going to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as part of my trip, and
Okay.
possibly jumping in and making a live appearance on Friday Night Fights, having a game.
I mean, that seems whatever trip ends with that. That sounds like the
That's
best
it.
trip possible. So, yeah, you're more than welcome to come here. So, it'd be weird because you'll be like ahead of me. You'll be in the future. I'll always be a step behind you, which will be real weird. So yeah, so there's the dilemma. We'll figure it out. Either way, we'll try to get somebody at something and do some coverage and all that good stuff. But there's Brian's dilemma. I thought we'd talk about it briefly.
Yep. And
Um,
yes, Pally, I am. I have family that we were thinking about bringing over to do a winter a white Christmas,
oh,
which is that's the other big part of it is do
then
we take
the heck with the United States of
yeah.
America and all. I mean that in the nicest way. If you want a white Christmas, just come to
Oh,
Canada. We got like
that's where
6
we would
months
be
of
going.
Christmas weather here, minimum.
We've got cousins over that way,
Yeah.
so so we'd be spending the majority of the time in Canada,
Matter
and
of
then we'd be
fact,
doing Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and LVO.
fair
It
enough.
was just everything aligned, and then Worlds popped up. Went, oh crap.
Yeah, I think your kids would like Christmas though. I think it'd be good.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. We were gonna do Merc stuff. Blah blah blah. I don't know. I feel like it's an hour 15. I feel like I think I want to capitalize on this spicy roundtable here. You cool with that? Like we were just gonna cover out. I'll just briefly mention this. So we were just going to point out that if you haven't gone to the AMG website and you go there and then you'll look in the side tab, you can find the Star Wars Legion documents, I think it is. If you go there, the mercenary rules are listed there. So it talks about how to include mercenaries in your army and affiliations. So the affiliation icons, just in case you guys are getting a new Shadow Collective and haven't seen any of the icons before. And then I also want to just point out in the rules reference guide, if you go right to the end, I think it's 2.0.3, right, the last 2 pages, there's rules updates there, and then some keywords. Specifically, I was just drawing attention to the fact that they have allies of convenience in there. So units with allies of convenience keyword may issue orders to friendly mercenaries regardless of their affiliation. And then additionally, when building your army may include one mercenary unit, one extra, I should say, in your army, regardless of rank, if there's at least one unit with the Allies at Convenience keyword, although you cannot take more units of particular rank than normally allowed. So you can't break the force org rules. And Allies and Convenience, my understanding is that there's no stacking there, so it doesn't allow you to take multiple extras. So I just wanted to point that out, just in case you were hearing this and not able to find it. You scroll to the really end of the rules reference guide, and there's a 2-page. That's the 2 pages snapped directly from that. So I think before we get over there, I also want to just draw attention to don't forget about Dice Time. I'm not sure when the latest episode dropped and when the next one's coming, but go have a listen. They also have a YouTube channel, but they are linked through us. So go listen to Ben and Paul. Ben and Paul will, if I'm at Gen Con, we'll be hooking up. And so I might see if they want to do live on location, record a Dice Time episode there. That'd be kind of fun to catch up with those guys. And then also, Michael hasn't been in here for a while because he's at Wizardry School. But don't forget about tellmetheodds.net. Michael did put a lot of work in there. And if you're trying to calculate odds, you can also select things like impact when you're doing dice rolls, so you can actually figure out what you're supposed to roll when you're shooting at dewbacks. Unlike me, who forgets to click the impact keyword. So, but Michael's got the site set up, and if you're looking at dice odds, and if you really want to get some valid arguments about dice pools, you can just go use the odds and then come with some valid arguments until you've actually played them yourself. So there is that, and don't forget that dice pools aren't everything. There's all those other intangibles that you can calculate in there. So, all right, Bryant, you're in the bottom corner. I'm in the top. Specifically because I feel like if we get some people in tonight, they might need to be separated. So let's not put them side by side. Some topics on here. We're going to do it thumbs up, thumbs down. And of course you want to justify why you've given it a thumbs up or thumbs down. And we're going to talk about swoop bikes, the use of chess clocks, whether you think it's a good thing, not. If we get into that topic and somebody picks that, I want to specifically ask a question about that and see what you think about I guess a response to my question. We'll talk about battle forces, whether you think it's good, bad, whether they're good for you or bad, whether you like that, all that stuff. And then model complexity. I want to talk a little bit about that. I haven't got the new Shadow Collective in terms of like physically in hand, but you did open them, Brian. And what did you think about them? Do they look like they're going to be? I'll tell you this. This is where I'm kind of coming from this. Magna Guard. I just finished assembling the Magna Guard. While I like that and I modified all of them, I still feel like some of the bits are exceptionally spindly, and I should have really paid attention to the foams because I ended up having to modify several just to get them in there. So those staffs are cool, but worry me a little bit. So what did you think about the Shadow Collective in terms of the pikes and the Black Suns? Was there anything of concern in there? Maybe save that. Maybe
straight
save
off
it. Save it, I think.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Only because I wanted to ask that, but then I realized, you know what? Let's float that, and then you
bring
can
other
tell
people in first.
you can tell them that are wrong and for all the reasons. So, okay.
Okay, so I'm allowed to do that, am I?
I mean, no, but
I thought I was supposed to be a nice guy. This is good cop, bad cop, bully, non-bully sort of thing.
I think you're the bad cop. Let's grab the interview button here, and we'll get some people in. We'll throw it in chat. We'll keep popping it in there. Come in and chat to us for 15, 20 minutes. Tell us all the good things. You get to pick a topic. We'll let you go dealer's choice.
Yeah, we've got to talk about chess clocks at some stage. We've got nationals coming on.
Yeah,
so
that's
if
fair.
you have an opinion on chess clocks,
that's fair.
Let us know.
All right, it's in chat. I'm calling out everybody. If you were in there tonight, we want to hear from you, and so do the folks in chat. So, here we go. Who's calling in? Let me guess. Oh, look who it is. So I better see some counter arguments coming here. Oh, okay, we got two. All right, so we only can get a few people in at a time. So if you are not in straight away, I will boot people so that we can get other people in. But let's just assign this guy to a thing. There we go.
There's a couple particular may get booted quicker.
Oh yeah, for sure. So let me see. Remove from green room and remove from green room. Then I need to go drop them in here. If you do not have headphones on, you will need that. Click. Oh, here comes Ryan.
Yeah, you'll have to turn.
Noob mistakes.
Literally first day.
Oh.
In, welcome.
Got me.
We
There we go.
got you. Hey,
Regrettably, yes.
welcome, Rick. Awesome.
Wow.
Bryant and I will just see ourselves out. So
Yep.
Ryan, you were first in, and then folks, if you want to call in, we'll get this first topic done, and then you guys can come in. You can also call with rebuttals, which will also be fantastic.
Each of you will have 30 seconds.
Brian
and
has
you
got the
can't
time.
talk over each other.
Yeah, and Brian's running the show here tonight, so don't get feisty because he will hit that ban button. So Ryan, you were first in. What is dealer's choice? What topic are we talking about?
Oh man, so many to choose from. Let's just go.
Oh,
with
look at the
swoop
time.
bikes.
That's unfortunate.
Man. I think swoop bikes. I mean, not too much of an argument because I think Pally and I are on the same page on them. We just have two totally different reasons.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. I gotta change my opinion real quick. I can't do this.
I'll give you time. Don't worry. Okay. So
Okay.
swoop bikes. I think this is another good example of why Lucasfilm keeps green lighting on screwing over the good guys in this game. They give the Z74 speeder bikes just the feels bad. Being the good guys for the Empire, I would like to have, a support unit that can generate its own tokens, like a Tauntaun or a Stap, which now Gar has this free token generating bike. I would love to have more than, one attack. Yeah, I'm at range 3, but it's cool, I guess, but again, it's paper compared to everything else. I just feel really left out and targeted by Lucasfilm. And it hurts, Shawn. It hurts.
So this is a thumbs up for you for swoop bikes?
I would love for people to use them because we live in a world with a die pool that averages 8-9 dice a roll and usually has about
Pally's
critical
walking
1 or
out
2 in it. And it doesn't care about your... Yeah, exactly.
Got
It
an
is
issue?
paper.
Grab
It
a
is
tissue.
so paper. So I think that's the problem we're forgetting about, and gun lines are still a thing. I mean, they just gave everyone the best range 4, range 3 unit to every faction, and everyone is stapling them to their armies right now.
Are you against? I'm a bit confused here. Are you against swoop bikes, or you're just against Legion having control, or AMG having control of the Empire stats?
And what he's done is he's turned this
Both.
into an Empire support group, which is getting no support for Empire.
Okay.
So
you
both.
like swoop bikes if they were available to Empire.
Yeah, that
If
or
they redid
changed
the
that.
yeah.
Yes,
I would
both.
have to agree on. It kills me. I'd have to agree on that point for the speeder bikes may need to be adjusted, and you never know. You might see them getting adjusted in the when we get the new updated rules, points, etc. The errata when they come.
I don't think
later in the year. What's October, November?
Yeah, I don't think they need a points update. I think they're missing agile. Agile would be nice. I'm sure Palio tested this. He's able to drop what feels like 1,000 tokens round 1 with his army. Yeah, no denial there. Droids with their staps, they can generate their own and they have critical in there. Tauntauns, again, 4 health. They have some of the best keywords ever. It just feeling left out, but I think competitively, swoop
some
bikes,
lovely
I
impact,
think
though.
they're not a great.
Extra dice.
Yeah, but with the amount of dodge tokens that are available with independent now to most units, and not
You know what?
no one running a whole bunch of armor.
Give
it's pretty
give the 74Z surge crit. Problem solved.
Yeah, I think all of the Imperial players now need to start complaining about it, as much as Rebels did with the T-47, to where we can get a
Because
points drop, get a few extra
doesn't really-
keywords on there.
realistically, just upping the 74 Zeds to search crit doesn't change a whole lot. They push through maybe one or two. Actually, I don't even think they push any extra hits through cover necessarily. There's enough situational awareness spam out there now that people are still dodging crits. It's not high velocity or anything, so that's not a huge issue. And you just have that little bit of extra utility to see it through. And it's a range band further than the pistols on the swoop bikes. So they feel kind of bad at 70 points, but I don't. First off, they're not even in the same faction, so it's hard to compare two things that don't actually sit next to each other competing for the same slot. But I don't think it takes a whole lot for 74 Zeds to really come back full force. They're already almost there. And a lot of that has to do with the army around them.
Okay, so
well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so Ryan is thumbs up for swoop, but thumbs down.
If you're using them on me, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And Pally, where are you landing on? I want to cycle, because if we stay on the swoop bikes, then we can get somebody to call in and rebut on that, and then we'll go from there.
There's something else here too.
Yeah, Striker's pointing out that we went to 74 Z's now. I'm moderating this. Bryant completely went off track, way off script.
I'm coming back to swoop here. There's something here too. In a not Shadow Collective army, you can take one swoop bike. For 75 points and a command slot, you can take a second one. And I don't know about anybody else here, but anything with the speeder keyword that's kind of flimsy, you want them in multiples. One of is kind of bad. So you now have to take up a command slot and an extra 5 points to fit that second one in there. You cannot take a third, period. And it's like, what's the opportunity cost? In Rebels, sure, it does something they don't already have. Is it better than Tauntauns? Right? Like, I don't know. Tauntauns are pretty good, but it is different. I'll give it that. It's extra utility. In Gar, they're not better than Barks. I mean, okay, so they're better than Barks, but for the points, Barks are better. 55 points per. Yeah.
So, yeah, the command slot upgrade, like, we just got lead by example, which if you're Rebels, you're always running Leia, you're stapling that onto her along with Vigilance. Where are you going to take an extra commander and not take Vigilance? No, you're going to take Vigilance, so you don't have allies of convenience anywhere. For Gar, I think you kind of want allies of convenience, unless if you're running 5-0 first, in which case you have Indomitable for the rest of the game, so you don't really care. But there's way better command upgrade slots out there. Like allies of convenience, I don't
want allies in Gar. I don't want allies of convenience in Gar unless they give me another unit that's not a swoop bike or a pike. I don't want it in Gar. I don't care about issuing. Right. Well, I don't care about issuing orders to the pikes. I'm never going to. They're better without, and I want orders on my clone troopers so they can shoot into pike shots.
And allies is only to get more of what you can't have.
Right.
Like, half the time you don't want to issue orders to anything that has independent, because independent is so much better. It's allies is kind of moo, and at 5 points you're like, they're so much better.
I really think
so to go back to swoop bikes,
I'm coming back around to that.
Cool. Pally is taking no compulsory moves, and I'm saying you need one to get back to swoop bikes.
Well, no, I'm coming back around to that. The only reason to take allies in Gar is for a second swoop bike. But if you're gonna take two swoop bikes, it's one because you want the move shootiness of them, and you just take two Barks for, 20 and 35 points less, and they're better for the points. Or you want to do overrun shenanigans, and then you just pay 10 points more a model, and you get the better Fluttercraft. So it's like, okay, swoop bikes go in guard, cool. What do they do? That everything that they would want to do is already done better by something else. And like I said in chat, that basically relegates them to rebels, where okay, it's different. Rebels don't have a speeder in the support slot. Cool. Are they better than Taunts? I don't think so.
What about
but it's different.
What about 2 swoops, 2 air speeders?
Where you get those command slots?
Can't you get it off allies?
Okay,
here's the thing with that.
Why are you taking allies over though? Like most rebel lists now, it's Leia and a generic officer, and now Leia's got lead by example, vigilance, and then that generic's got vigilance because they're dodge heavy, and you want to keep those dodges.
There's another calculus here too.
As a rebel player, I'm not seeing very in our area. I'm not seeing Leia played very much at all lately.
The other
with changes.
So the other calculus here too is swoop bikes are fast, but they're not tanky. 2 air speeders are very fast and very tanky. 70 points for swoop bikes, 75 points for rotary surge crit ATRTs with full armor.
Or what is it? 90 points for Tauntauns that have agile, relentless,
95?
sharpshooter, and Pierce.
95.
Yeah, 95.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they got all the best keywords in there, and they're 4 wounds apiece. Surge,
and they can
use it hit or crit.
Surge hit.
Yep.
But they have
Surge
ram,
hit,
and they can bury
And
themselves.
ram,
yeah.
Oh, I don't disagree.
And they can.
Tons are good.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about swoop bikes.
Here's the thing. Swoops are definitely a cheaper taunt option. If you need to get over there for cheaper, swoops will do it. But they can't bury. They're probably the model's big enough that you can't really hide them. So they are a sacrificial unit. Taunts get in, and once they're buried, they are hard to dislodge.
Yep.
So, same thing. The swoops offer something that rebels don't already have, but it's opportunity cost. And is it something that you really need? Because you have air speeders, which are just bigger, better swoops. If you want to do the 4-speeder meme dream, go for it. I mean, absolutely. But is it worth outside of just funsies?
Okay, so we're let's quickly move to the next topic. I floated it out there. We'll keep you in here until somebody better comes along.
Can we skip that one and just go straight to battle forces?
No, we're no Ryan. We're gonna get Ryan ramped about chest clocks.
I'm gonna get banned. Let me go take my blood pressure medication.
Just get your wife to dial 9-1, and then I'll yell 1 when we need to do the next the last digit. So before we go on, just because I feel like that was such a robust conversations around Zed 74s, or let's just give our thumbs up or thumbs down for swoop bikes. So I'm a thumbs up for swoop bikes. So Pally.
Competitively, no. Competitively, yeah. I'm kind of with Pally. It's like there's better options. Don't do it competitively if you're not
fun.
Collective.
Fun, absolutely competitive.
I'm sure.
Unless you're Shadow Collective,
working with children before the stream.
Mm-hmm. If you're Shadow Collective, these are great unless you have your Mandos built.
And you're running 4 Mandos.
Would you like to answer a yes or no? Well, maybe.
Just do this quickly. There we go. All right, let's move on to chess clocks, and I put the chat in there so we can get some intelligent conversation going here.
Wow.
Chess clocks. So the point that before we get into the chess clocks, the chess clocks, we can be for or against if you think they should be employed. My point, partially with the swoop bike conversation and fluttercrafts, etc. Where do you feel that the time needs to come in chess clocks around displacement? And I have experienced this from fluttercrafts, playing a great game against Evan, when he You've seen how I play droids, real tight. So you can just imagine when multiple fluttercrafts are coming in and landing in my blob continuously, or through my blob, or on it, or in it, or all those pieces. The forced displacement on my side, and I have to do the cohering and all the pieces. In a chess clock world, and maybe that happens 1, 2, 3 times. We've seen Michael play several times in the league, and so we know that happens. Pally knows that happens. It had to happen to him. So that time that's associated with that, I'm just kind of wondering, in a chess clock world, who benefits from that, and is that actually going to be a problem for players? Because I feel like that is going to eat a considerable amount of time for me.
Can I take this?
Go ahead.
So, coming from an officiating standpoint, I just got done with the largest baseball tournament for youth baseball in the country, and they're on a 2-hour timer. If a kid is not bleeding profusely, has a limb dangling from their body, that clock is still running because everything is part of the game. Now, with the chess clocks and displacement, is displacement part of the game?
Well, it is. But with
So
the chess
yeah,
clock,
I would say it still runs. I think.
But I'm not talking game. I'm not talking game round. I'm talking when you allocate specific amounts of time per player, and that is a requirement for me to move my models. Mm-hmm. Is my chess clock running during that, or where's that time come from?
And you see, you got to have that debate. It's difficult, I think, because it's part of the game. It was forced upon you, and I'm not saying you would do this, Shawn, but it gives you an opportunity if you're eating your opponent's time, and we say, well, it's part of the game. It happened during your opponent's time. It should eat away at your opponent's time. Well, now that gives you an opportunity to eat away at their time. You're like, well, I don't like the way this cohesion is. I'm trying to get into a little more cover here, to where if it's your time, you're rushing through it. And we can go back to that because I'll talk about it later.
If you're the person that is doing that to someone, then it's your choice in your tactics to create that issue. Then it should be on your time. But then again, if that other person is slow playing, then you can always, like you have been able to, you can always pull over a TO and say, hey, look, can we get it? Can we get him to move on? But if you have created that scenario, then it should be on you to be able to as your times. But that is a hard one because the second person that is doing the cohesion can slow play, can go behind, or make the other person go behind.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is I think the premise of chess clocks, I actually like that. I do like that there's a sort of cadence to the game. There's some urgency to play at a reasonable pace. It's just given the fact that we have swoop bikes out, we have fluttercraft seeing the table a bit more. We have already multiple other displacement units. We're going to see AA5s. We're going to have more reckless drivers potentially out there. Displacing units in the game, I think, is going to be a little more prevalent, and I think for a variety of reasons. One, because of the suppression. Two, I think suppression is going to be a bigger part of the game going forward, so there's going to be a little bit more tactical advantage of adding that extra suppression. We have overrun. We have all these things coming into the game. If we move into a world where we're simultaneously exploring chess clocks, this is something that I really think needs to have consideration for where that time gets burnt.
So probably the unpopular opinion.
Ryan gave,
but
yeah, Pally is.
It sucks. And as somebody who's going to be on the receiving end of this level of suck, it's going to suck. But I think if it's your turn to move your minis, you're burning your clock.
So you've displaced me, and I'm moving my minis, so the clock would switch over to me, is what you're saying, just to be clear.
Yes, and it's less no matter what happens here, it's going to be something that will be tried to be abused in competitive levels
100%.
because
100%.
that's how it goes. And I think that's where the onus comes on the TO to make TO decisions about things like that. That being said, like you said, displacing is absolutely a strategy. It's a thing that's happened since the beginning of vehicles, and it's only going to continue to happen in greater effect. And especially on real tables, sometimes lining up the landing spot for a displacing vehicle takes time in and of itself to get right. Yeah, and it really just comes down to the abusing factor of it. You can, as the person who's going to be displaced, put your minis next to terrain in such a way to make it very difficult, not impossible, but difficult to be displaced. Conversely, they can land on you in ways that make it difficult for you to recohere after displacement, and that's the chess game. That's the game that's played. The moment you start convoluting rules of when's the clock running, does the clock run for you when I'm moving my minis in this instance, but not this other instance? You start having these weird, and people are going to get confused because people are people. That's how it goes.
Well, I'm thinking about a world where I'm running double AA5 and triple swoop bikes. Right. And I'm going to run a bunch of demoralize, and my whole game plan is to drive over you as many times as possible to give you as much suppression, to offload my army, to do all the things. And I'm going to do it 5 activations in a row, and you're going to spend all the time displacing, and you're going to use your clock. And now you have limited actions because you're suppressed potentially. And now I've eaten a bunch of your clock time, and now I'm in your way. And I know this is a play because I can manage the clock as well as you, and I can strategically do that. Now, here's the extra dilemma.
That's the build.
Is that going to be seen as poor gamesmanship, poor tactics, knowing that your opponent's literally going to have to burn time because it's a mechanic that he or she must cohere, displace, repetitively do that. And now it's like, I'm going to manage the clock here, and because my army is going to be better in a 4-turn game than a 6-turn game.
At this stage, at this current rule set for clocks, who
Bernard's hiding his feelings.
Actually... Who is it currently that would do if you displaced someone? Do you stop your clock?
And I don't actually know the answer to the question, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
I could look it up, but I think
his clocks are happening is LVO. To my knowledge, is just LVO, and they had problems with that at LVO.
Oh, they did. I don't
with getting the clocks to actually operate efficiently.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, there's this thing that you can do where if you go over to the chess hall and grab the chess clocks, they tend to work because the chess players use them.
Yeah. And this just so
people
you know, this isn't
used
stemming.
To using them aren't used to pressing them as they're going and then going, oh, I don't know, I forgot to.
So
I think
just
until
entire conversation's not coming from any one instance, other than the fact that I've been thinking a lot about displacement and the use of time, just how much that takes up.
So
I think the person who's displacing should eat their time. So the person who has made their action, you're still in your action, you're still in your go, so it should be eating up your time, which is going to open.
But again, it's abusable.
So you're opposite of Pally, though. To be
clear,
he's opposite of
hopefully. Yeah, hopefully.
Okay. So and I think here's the difference, though, right? If the person doing the displacing has to burn their clock while the opponent coheres, there is, other than getting chewed out by the TO, there is zero incentive for the person cohering to hurry up and cohere. Zero incentive whatsoever.
Yep.
If
except for the fact that if they do feel like they need to have the time on the clock. I may want to, you know what, I'm going to scramble my cohesion really quickly. It doesn't matter to me, because I need to get through this. So there may be a
Well, no, no.
play where they want to.
But what I mean is
Oh,
going
because
with
I'm burning their
Brian's.
clock.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if Shawn, if you displace me, I have to cohere my minis, but we're burning your clock. Well, I don't know. Do I want this many here? Is it better over here behind this piece of cover? Maybe there's a line of sight over on this side I want to try to wiggle out of. What is my incentive to not burn more? My incentive is to burn as much of your clock as a TO will let me get away with.
And here's the thing. How do you point that out without being a jerk? How do you point that out and act like it doesn't matter? Because you can go right after me, Ryan. Because here's the thing: if you're clones, then your net is important. If you're droids, your net is important. If you're rebels, potentially your net is important, maybe for an inspire bubble or something around that. If you're empire, perhaps it's important. I'm just thinking those maybe. There's many reasons why it would be, but there's certainly some factions that the net that you establish is very important, and so. Taking your time, are you taking your time because it's important? Are you taking your time because you're wasting time? And then how does the person on the other side? You're taking your time and it doesn't matter. That's a pretty big assumption to say without them revealing their game tactics. So go ahead, Ryan.
I think the simple solution for this is to not have chess clocks be used as traditional chess clocks, but you give every table a timer that is controlled by the TO, to where the TO says, okay, round starts, boom, they all go instantly. To where if we do have this displacement shenanigan BS, which now that we're talking about it, someone's going to pick it up, bring it to a tournament that uses chess clocks, and we're going to have this debate later, to where the TO can stop your clock at your table, to where both players can obviously see the time, how much time is left. So both players are A, responsible, but B, the TO can also extend you that time as well if they feel like it's needed. That I'm obviously on the side to where I think chess clocks should not belong in Legion, because now I'm playing a third party. I'm no longer playing my opponent. I'm no longer playing the game in its purest form. I'm now playing against my time. I'm playing against myself, to where I'm not going to be able to react when the game comes down to those final turns. I think most of what this chess clock is stemmed from is a small portion of the larger community complaining like, oh, we're not finishing our full 6 round of games. Well, did you really need to finish those 6 round of games? No, but it'd be nice, is always the answer
I
to
think
that. When most games are finished
like
either 4 or 5.
There.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to debate that sort of point with, as far as chess clocks being involved in competitions. Yes, I'm one of those people that are going, do we really need them? And coming up with competitions and nationals coming up, we have to look at, like, states will have them there for people that want to use them and practice with them, and nationals we will end up having them. In a competition model, then you need some sort of standpoint, because you've got 2.5 hours to play a game. Whether it be anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, you have that particular amount of time to play a game, and tactically you have to either, one, be able to go, yes, I'm tactically thinking about 6 rounds, or I'm tactically thinking about 4 rounds. Unfortunately, the game in its state, or with the game in its state at the moment, objectives will go to 6 rounds or 5 rounds, but anything, if it's 4 rounds, it can affect how the game does play out as far as objectives wise. If you're having a social game, no, chess clocks, throw them in the bin. You don't need them, because you're not able to play how the game, like you said, you're not able to play how the game goes in its raw form. You can, but in a competition, people can game to their style in an unfair advantage by slow playing and holding things up and making decisions And some players don't do it on purpose. They really are contemplating their next move. They have to think about everything 10 times over, and they over complicate their decisions. Sorry, I'm reading that on screen.
Yeah, go ahead. No, finish. I'll just bring a point up after.
Yeah. And so they can and that can majorly affect the other person. And it may be a tactic, but I don't think in a competition, I don't think it's a fair tactic. And having clocks in a larger tournament, or a more important tournament, then I think that may be the answer, or maybe the best answer that we have to stop those sort of tactics. Because there's a difference between I think there's a big difference between something that you can control, like a bag tactic that you can control, and someone just making 10 decisions and then going back and then forward and then back and then go, oh no, and then changing what they're going to do, all legally, but doing it so they're eating up the time so they can go, okay, well, we didn't get to round 4 because now I win because I'm at points, but you thought you were getting in the position to be able to win in round 5, sort of thing. But I can't do that because now you've just slow played me.
Shawn, can I go real quick?
You can, and then I want to draw some attention to Bernard's stuff, and then we'll quickly rip
through.
I saw that. I want to go over the 2-hour limit. So go ahead. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So I think another solution to this is we as players actually taking our responsibility seriously of reading the rules, understanding what can happen in a game, and not being afraid to speak up during a game of, hey, I think you're slow playing. We need to play a little bit faster. Because when Pally's seen me at tournaments, I'm constantly bothering the TO. Hey, how much time we got? Hey, how much time we got? And then reminding my opponent, hey, we got this much time. Let's pick up the pace. It happened to me down in Dallas where I had to remind my opponent, hey, let's pick up the pace. And he was like, yeah, let's pick up the pace. Yeah, you can get flustered in that moment, but again, that's part of the game. And I think TOs also need to take their responsibility seriously of not being afraid to step in and warn players. Like, you tell them they're slow playing. I've seen it before to where and it happens all the time after a game is finished, to where players like, yeah, I got slow played. Well, if you think you got slow played, why didn't you bring it up? Like, in a competitive setting, I'm not afraid to offend somebody. Like, if Shawn and I are playing a game and I think Shawn's slow playing me, I'm not going to be like, well, it's Shawn. Shawn can do it. No, I'm going to let Shawn know, hey, Shawn, you're slow playing me. Let's pick up the pace. Let's finish this game. Let's play it all the way through. If Shawn continues to slow play, that's where I have to get the TO involved. Hey, he's slow playing me. He's taking forever to make his decisions, which I don't think should happen anymore, since we can use two of the tools that we use for movement and range at the same time and any time. So while Shawn's making his moves, I should be contemplating mine. Okay, Shawn did this. Well, now I got to measure range from this unit or this unit. Okay, am I going to move? Am I not going to move? Am I going to pull from the bag? What happens with this? You got to constantly be on your feet. This isn't, we're not playing chutes and ladders here. We're playing like 4D chess over here. Yeah. Where you got to constantly be on your game in a competitive setting. And if you're not, well, you're going to lose. And if you feel like you got slow played and you bring it up at the end of the day, that's on you.
I think it's an important, nice segue too, because I would say I play entirely different depending on the setting. At a table in a tournament, way less chatter, way more focused. I'm not trying to be not jovial, but if it's a tournament that you travel for to play, you're playing quick, you're playing methodical. I'm thinking in my head, doing my calculus. I'm trying not to have too much conversation about what the lunch was, all that sort of stuff. That cuts a lot of the time out for me. That's how I play personally. That doesn't mean you can't go to a tournament and have a great time playing. To Bernard's point, he's saying that when you're playing and somebody's displacing you 3-4 times a turn, valid tactic, 100% it's valid. I will defend that for sure. That's not his idea of fun. So and then when it's not fun for him, he's not having a great time. That brings me to your point where if you're already not having a great time in a game and you make that utterance of, hey, let's pick up the pace, I do have a hard time feeling that how that can't be a combative statement. Some people will recognize, hey, great, no, I do need to pick up the pace. Other people may be like, what's this guy on me for? Like, what's this guy's deal? I'm playing my normal speed, because you may have never played with that person. I really love what he says here, that, you know what, stop using chess clocks. Chess clocks, you want to use chess clocks, play chess. I love that. Which is fantastic. I really love point 2 that he said here, and maybe this is the solution. He's talking about repulsors and vehicles on pegs, basically simulating that they are above units on the table. And maybe we just need to get, like he's saying, it makes no sense for them to move everything out of the way. They're above that. So maybe there just needs to be a mechanism change where displacement doesn't cause all the extra things. Maybe you can still simulate that by a unit hits and maybe they take a suppression from that. But maybe you don't scatter everybody to the dickens all over the map, and you can get a similar effect without having the nuances of having to displace and move everything. It's a great point. I don't know that mechanism. I don't know if that's used in other games or what have you. I think maybe I hear that. Maybe I listened to Fifth Trooper. I think Kyle was mentioning something. Maybe he mentioned 40K. I could have that wrong, but I do think that there is a simulated environment there where the vehicles should be above the table, and I don't disagree that maybe we do need to tighten that up. Maybe that's not the thing we do. Ground vehicles, though, maybe that does need to exist. So maybe there is a happy medium somewhere in there.
I think also to his other point with new players, I think if you're a new player, you need to let your opponent know ahead of time, hey, this is my first tournament. Hey, I haven't been playing that long. That'll actually help with the play a bit, and if you're an experienced player, help them out. TOs at the beginning of tournaments, just ask, do we have any new players here? Is this your first tournament? And to encourage that so everyone knows who the new players are, so that when you show up to a table and you're playing a guy who, like Pally, who played in his first tournament, 4 months ago? He was, again, it was his first tournament, hadn't played ever, but
physically,
everyone knew, okay, it's his first tournament, we're going to cut him a little bit of slack. But then after a while, after you're third, you got to pick up the place. You're no longer a new player in the competitive scene.
Oh, who called slow play on me? Who called slow play on me?
That was a joke. We're not talking about. Yeah, no one did. But again, you understood as a new player though that, hey, some of these guys do need the pace to pick up a bit, and you respected that, and they respected you because everyone was on the same page. That's the problem with this. It's people not being on the same page.
And here's the other thing too.
Wrap up the chess clock conversation around about here though, just from time restraints. Yeah. We've got.
We'll finish this off.
I believe we could keep going on and on about it, but.
Well, I want to address this specifically for Bernard. I think Legion's at a point now, and this has happened with other games, where you have a divergence of two mindsets. You have the we're here to have fun and play a fun game and have a great time versus we're here for blood. And AMG is going to have to figure out how to navigate those two entirely different mindsets, and it's going to be rough for a while. Mm-hmm. That's a growing pain. It's going to happen because those two groups can have fun at a casual table, but anytime there's an event involved, there's going to be feel bads.
Yep.
So
don't
that's where we're at now. The game is big enough. We're seeing the two mindsets start to diverge.
Yeah,
and it's when they cross is when issues happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I don't bring it up to create controversy and then to have people accuse other people of slow playing with displacement. I just feel like there's going to be a world where somebody's just going to be doing a lot of displacement models, a lot of displacing of their models with particular lists that can be coming to fruition real quick here. So, okay. So real fast, rapid fire on this. I'm going to pick Battle Forces. I'm going to ask questions. You guys are going to do thumbs up, thumbs down. Battle Forces, are you buying any of them? I am.
100%. I have all of them already. I will be buying them purely to do unboxings. No.
Okay. Ali, we're waiting on you.
Get the extras.
I bought the Shadow Collective. I'm undecided on 501st.
Just Battle
No, he's talking about the faction starters.
Faction ones, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I will not be buying any of the other three. I'm undecided on 501st. That's
So
a big I don't know yet.
So he's like there again.
Mhm.
Battle
the
Forces.
rules are downloadable.
Battle Forces,
Yeah,
good
same.
for the game. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
100%. 100%.
Wait on Ryan. Wait on Ryan.
After reading the GAR command cards, I think they need a little more playtesting. Good for list variability, but I think they need to take a better look.
The
at
rules
the
of
command cards.
the rules of this game are this
Mhm.
or
Okay,
this.
Here, I'll do. It depends on what it is then.
Okay.
And if no one know, or if anyone doesn't know, 19th of August is the Blizzard Force and Echo Base,
Okay.
and 501st and Separatist Invasion come out 16th of September.
Sweet. I love
they're
that.
not coming out at the same days,
Mhm.
or is that just for you in the land down
That
under?
is the release date that we've been given by our wholesalers.
Okay.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
appreciate Chad getting in on this too, and Travis saying amazing for the game. They're getting 5 new players in the community, and that's going to be a big plus. And I had said that last week, and I think it definitely is.
Can we
We're
just call them
giving
what they
away
are?
here
Faction
in
starters.
Christmas.
No, they're starters.
Yeah.
I'm just calling Battle Force. That's the term they
They're-
decide. So.
yeah.
I'll take the next one. Model complexity.
No, I got to know about this.
But here's the thing. What are you thumbs down to? Because let me ask the question first. Do you like the fact that the models appear to be becoming more complex? That's the thumbs up,
Complex
thumbs down.
as in what?
More. I'd say more maybe intricate. So therefore, maybe going down the track getting a little bit more difficult to assemble.
Okay.
More detailed.
As intricate
yes.
increases?
More complex. A little bit.
Difficulty to assemble increases, and my thumb goes down more.
Okay, so you're on the track. That's what I'm saying. So more complex models, meaning it's going down the track of being. So let me get back to the fact that like you knew what the starter box one was. So now instead
I
of 3-part
hated
arms,
building pikes.
they used to have 2 arms that were attached, and you just put them together. So that was early starters, and now we have 3-part arms. So
Okay.
Pally does
Can
not
we go
like
to this
that.
pike thing? How is everyone having difficulty with pikes?
Oh no,
I keep
not
hearing this.
difficulty.
What is
I
the
just hate
difficult
it.
part? Why?
I can't quantify
They're not
it. It just,
B1s where the head is in 2 pieces.
I would rather build B1s than more pikes.
Yeah, see, I was fine with the B1s, and I haven't assembled the new Shadow Collector. I actually like the more complex models because I feel like they can just do more, and the more complex the piece, the easier it is for me to mod everything. So when they were singular, it was really tough to change poses. 'Cause I change everything. I don't really like any like I want
See,
them. To
I can't agree with the complexity because after looking at the IG droids, they're the same damn pose. The only difference is the minor detail on them. So I'm not seeing any complexity in that. That's where I'm like, they're not as complex. Could
So
the
you-
rules be printed better? Could the rules be or the instructions printed better? Hell yeah, they could be.
Or printed at all.
Yes, thank you. Or released in a timely manner.
Okay,
Um,
so people weighing in here that the more variety in the poses is a great thing. Striker's saying not as complex as the snail tank.
Oh geez, yeah, that was pretty complex.
Okay,
I am.
No more
I
flight
like-
stands. Let's do that. No more flight stands.
no
more flight stands.
So
No more.
where's the flutter? What, a fluttercraft on the ground?
No.
No.
Pally,
Those are
you
fine.
tell him.
Those are fine.
You're talking
No
like
more.
trooper flight stands.
Yes.
No more
No
current
more.
iteration of Trooper's flight stance. If they want to go back to the Boba Fett where you shove it in the backpack,
Yes,
I'm all for that.
please. I'm
Okay.
fine shoving this in a guy's ass. Like it's
Yeah. Well,
like I'm kind of tired of the it's the same plastic as the model. Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna put
I'm
I'd
it
just
together.
like
not
to
coming
reiterate
back.
there that he means putting a flight stand.
To that previous
bottom of the
statement
model.
made by Ryan.
Hey, I'm just
And
giving
this
you a
is why-
soundbite here.
This is why a lot of podcasts run on a 10-second delay.
Yeah, but flight stands
You
are the
can
reason
say whatever you
why we
want,
got
just a full
silhouettes,
caveat.
though.
You can say whatever you want. I'm just you saying that at that moment for that for that exact topic was unnecessary.
Well, I'm giving you a soundbite, but I think
And
I
I will
hate
delete.
I hate flight stands because they never want to work properly. Yeah, they never want to stay. They're always snapping off in my
they
case
snap.
somehow, or if you're pally, they're breaking as you gently place it on the table in a tournament
For no good
Gently
reason
placing
whatsoever.
Okay.
I'd have
And
to agree on this one.
they are the
I
reason
saw another
why.
stream with someone had just put them together and just put it down and snap. It was not doing anything and just snap.
And they're the reason
and
why
the
we
amount of times
have
I've snapped
silhouettes.
my ones.
Yeah.
I love that there is a stand. I think they need to find a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
Whether it's
So-
tactical rocks or something
No,
else.
geez, no more.
There needs to be a better version of having them in a pose.
You know what? I will take the option of a well-modeled tactical rock or a flight stand. If I can work that tactical... Right, if I can work... Or that. If I can work this modeled piece of plastic into the basing that I'm doing, awesome. If I just have a scheme that does not work with it, then give me the stand as a backup option that I will gripe about, but take.
I mean, you're not wrong, but the only part... Well, you're wrong about the tactical rocks because now we have tactical trees.
I mean,
But
right.
we had flight stands figured out when the game came out. I got a straight peg that stood straight up that I could put underneath
Unnecessary
the
to
model
describe
of my
how you
bikes.
modeled it.
And I could put it underneath Boba, and it was awesome. And we still had rules written for all these. It's bases with clear pegs on them, and they're still in the game today. But now we got all these crappy GW wannabe flight stands that really do make the models more complex than they should be, and the point of contact is super small that there's no point in putting it on the stand anyway, because you're going to be like Pally showing up to a tournament like, hey, sorry, boss, here's my base with a flight stand on it. My model fell off on the way here, and no one has any glue.
I'd
like to have you
my
come
paint
full
job is so
circle.
sick.
There's no complexity in any of the models in this game except for the ones that are complex that you need to immediately get rid of. I'm glad I put this topic in here.
Well,
I like Striker's comment in here saying the FFG engineering versus the AMG engineering, and that's I agree there. I think we're going to see a difference. I don't know whether the models at the moment are AMG or FFG. I believe they're still FFG lines, but I think AMG may bring something else to the party with how they've done their
the Essentials kit,
protocol.
right?
And Essentials kit, exactly. What they've found something that people have complained about and gone, hey, these are flimsy, these are breakable. Let's solve this issue. And the difference between the two is chalk and cheese. I'll step out of screen for a second. I'll get them both.
So back on the complexity thing.
Yeah.
Back on the complexity thing. I didn't like the soft plastic because it felt like the paint didn't take as well, and the details weren't defined. Oh, you don't just sandpaper it? Dip it in oil? Anyways, the details aren't as fine, but it's super easy to assemble. The current iteration of things, yes, massive difference. The current iteration of models with pikes
Wait, what?
and Mandos and things, yeah. You haven't seen
Brian,
that?
can I see that again? No, because I've been playing the game longer. So is it? Oh, geez. Are they?
Yeah,
It's chalk and
Yeah.
cheese. Didn't you hear that?
Chalk and
No.
cheese.
So are they the same length though?
Just lift them up, Brian, a little
yeah.
Oh, they are. That's just me.
Okay, because the way you're showing me, I'm like,
so
wait
that
a minute.
is-
Now I gotta go out buy the essentials kit to get a millimeter longer.
No.
No,
Stop
they
gaming the game,
are
Ryan.
they are the exact same length, but you can
Okay.
see
They're
It's
the
beefy.
difference
girth.
in. Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, it's just my horrible. Yeah, but it's the connectors are they're a massive difference.
Mm-hmm.
In being able to in strength.
My only problem with that is they
Sorry.
put the dice in there, so now I gotta spend close to $120 to get all the dice I need for my fire supporting.
Just get
Just-
the dice.
You can
Just
still
buy
buy
a
dice
dice
packs.
kit.
Are they not facing the dice pack out?
I mean, I'm sure you could
No.
find a store that's got a
Hey.
dice pack.
So you can do this thing where you come to the better
No,
store
don't.
in Des Moines where they have dice.
Yeah, I know. But it's also Asmodee
You can
doing
jump
their
on
job in stocking it.
phoenixgames.com.au and
Yeah.
buy dice.
There we go. Yeah. Support
Um,
those.
I have all the dice. I'm just thinking for newer players. It's like, here's this essentials kit.
No,
Sorry
you
that-
can.
Do you know?
you
but
can
here's
Do you
still
know what
buy
Ryan?
dice.
Do you know what Ryan doesn't have? A jersey.
Because I will be printing my own T-shirts about killing flight stands.
Available
On
at his
complexity.
Teespring shop.
On complexity, though, Phase 2 and Arcs, perfect complexity. Pikes and the Black Sun and New Mandos, too much.
They are too much for you.
They are. But here's the thing. I'm bad at hobbying. Part of why I got into Legion was, one, it was cheaper. Two, it's an IP I like. And three, I don't have to glue pockets onto pants. So,
Fair.
I don't have to glue pockets onto pants in my GW games, but okay.
whatever. I think somebody was complaining about the MCP. A couple of characters you have to do something like that, or a different game that AMG
yeah.
made before. I don't know. The level of complexity was enough that I got nicely detailed models, but dumb enough that I didn't have to pull the crayon out of my brain to figure out and actually process how to do this.
See, I mod everything, so I just make it more complex than it needs to be, just unnecessarily. But I enjoy that. So I like the multi-part models. I like that they make more, joint manipulation points. I like all that. I haven't found anything to be overly difficult, so I'm okay with all that. Spindly though is different for me. So when we get like the pike, the Magna guard staffs, they are spindly. I don't really love the attachment point for the gun for the leader. That really small arm and small attachment point. I don't really love that. I've actually sawed most of them off to get more surface area and then just glued that. I can get though where Pally's like, I don't want to have to saw, I don't have to cut, I don't have to pin, I don't want to have to do anything. I just want to put this together and go play. I can understand that. That's why I asked the thing about complexity. Is having more detailed multi-part models actually a deterrent for some people? It could be. It very well could be.
I think it's also you need to get the type of glue. I'll grab my bottle here, but there's a special type of glue everyone should be using.
Sticky stuff.
No, Tamiya. Get
Yep.
this bottle. If you have a Hobby Lobby,
Okay.
go in there. Stay away from the Army Painter wet cement, because if I buy models from you and you're using that, that's not a fun day. Because then
I've heard
as soon
Tamiya's
as
and
it
stuff,
glues,
yeah.
it's done.
Yeah.
Tamiya
Let me
is
ask
the
you-
way
Is
to
that
go.
the brush applicator one?
That
Yes.
one was, yes.
Yes,
Let
because
me
it
ask
actually
you.
melts the plastic and fuses it.
When you apply your glue and you put the
Yeah.
parts together, how long
Yeah.
do you have to hold those parts there before they bond?
That ultimately depends. If it was Magna Guards, it felt like 5 years. If it's normally though, it's about 5-10 seconds.
Okay.
and I'm good
'Cause,
to go. And then I can use it to take out the mold lines and fill in the gaps, which is great. Unlike super
So,
glue, to where I'm
well,
gluing
and
my
that's the
fingers
thing.
to everything.
That's the thing. I use a Gorilla Glue that has just a brush and a dropper, and that's because I can just stick it, put it where I want it, let go, and it's already. I don't have to keep fiddling. And a lot of that, though, Ryan. A lot of that is because when I'm trying to do those fine details, my hands get really shaky, and I can't hold a steady,
I,
solid bond.
I will help you out,
And
Pally,
I
real
will
quick.
gladly put those together.
Glue applicator, the very cheapest, and you can get them in large quantities. Toothpicks. If you're using super glue, just use toothpicks for glue applicators. Disposable, super easy. So
Okay,
just use
but
the tip.
okay, so I understand, but how does that if the bond takes a little bit to actually form and I have to sit there and hold it? My problem isn't applying the substance. My problem is sitting there holding the
Do you
pieces
use
together steady.
accelerant? Do you use accelerant with super glue?
No,
Or
I
the
just
glue?
use the super glue.
Yeah.
It takes like 2 seconds and it's
so
already
so I use accelerant, which takes no seconds.
okay.
And
I think
so
he's talking about the difference between plastic glue and super glue. Plastic glue is going to take a while longer.
yeah,
Is that
actually
what you're talking
But
don't use
but
plastic glue
is a little more forgiving. It's a little more forgiving if you screw up. Whereas with you also get a really nice fume using plastic glue compared to super glue, which makes the hobbying a little more fun.
Well, you can get it with super glue as well. You can get low odor
What kind
stuff.
of super glue are you buying?
The good stuff. The good stuff. Not the
Look, I'm
stuff
still on that
everybody
rubber
sells to my
cement, all
guy.
right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still on that rubber cement.
Hey, if you have difficulty, I'll put them together for you, boss.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna mail you all my stuff then.
Yeah.
Never to
Do
be
something to
heard
do.
from again.
Right. Like I said, and I have the same problem painting. It's just I have shaky hands, so I can get by with painting because it's just a real quick get it on there and pull back before shaky takes over. But trying to hold two pieces of plastic together for anything more than like a second or two without moving them is just a challenge.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think that's a valid point.
Yeah,
That
no, I have difficulties with that too. Yeah.
So, and again, that's why I use the super glue because it's done.
But then, oh no, you just like pulling off the glue from your fingers like you did in elementary school.
Hold on, no,
yeah,
I
why
just
you use your teeth? That's the best way. You just start chewing at your
Oh my
fingertips like
God.
you're trying, like in the witness protection program, trying to remove those fingerprints.
What are you guys talking about? Whenever I got the automatic cheese grater going, I just get a little rub in there.
A little
this
rub in
is-
there. There it is.
Perfect. So it'll be a lot easier. I'll
Okay.
just remove the last 40 minutes of this podcast and click that
Yeah,
kid
there's
friendly button.
Jacob. Okay, so Jacob, real quick in chat, do you use super glue or the plastic Bondi Tamiya stuff that they're talking about that I don't know what it's called? Because he's saying, yeah, Tamiya, because he's saying he gets shaky hands too. So like, how do you have problems getting the little fiddly plastic bits to stay together until whatever it is you're using bonds, or how are you doing that? And now we're talking
Well, we
about
wait for
hobbying.
him. Another trick.
We're gonna save
Pally
hobby for next week. So he's plastic Mr. Deluxe, he says.
So another trick you can do is if you're noticing you're getting shaky, just put a little bit on there. Get it to where you like it. Drop it. Wait a bit, and then because you're using it, just don't touch it, and then you just put a little bit on, and you just move it slowly, and
Just
take
help
your
you
time
out.
with it.
It'll help you out a lot too. If you want to glue something, you know that two parts are going to go together and one part is on the sprue. You could just keep one part on the sprue, glue the other part to the part that's on the sprue, then cut off the piece from the sprue.
That might be a thing.
That's
I'm always learning new stuff. I've learned more about my own like body mechanics with my hands and arms doing this hobby than I've learned in the last 30 years before this.
Yeah.
Option C is to send it to me, and I'll do it.
That's fair. Okay, well we should
That's
wrap
on the internet.
very robust. Yeah, just Ryan, just post your address. We can't promise.
Yep,
that you
I'll
won't
have that in the
just-
description. I'll have my social security number, mother's maiden name, and blood type for you.
Fantastic. Yes. Speaking of witness protection program, Brian will be entering it immediately following this podcast. Awesome. Well, quite a robust conversation. It was pretty complex at times. There was some battles. I think we needed a chess clock, and swoop bikes are still awesome. So that pretty much covers off all of that. So Ryan is obviously ingested too much glue, and now he is vomiting.
Why do we let him on here?
Why
do we let me on here?
I'm not
Because
I'm not sure.
you're in my basement, remember? So if I'm on, you're on. We're a package deal.
Yeah, that wall's
Don't worry,
looking
snacks are
on the
coming
floor.
down for you, buddy.
excellent. Just sprinkling snacks. Pally can catch all the crumbs. So maybe laying off
Joy.
the 75 energy drinks will help with the shaky hands there too.
This
Pally.
is not an energy drink. Like, it says it is, but it's not.
And what is it?
This is a Mountain Dew Kickstart, which I get
Well,
it,
that's
caffeine.
an energy drink.
I don't
No,
know
here's
why
the
my
thing.
models won't go together.
It has almost no sugar in it, and actually less caffeine than a Mountain Dew soda, and none of the other words that I can't pronounce. I don't know what this is, but it doesn't have
there it
energy
was.
drink stuff in it.
Almost no sugar. As he says, holding the can.
Yeah.
Uh, 9 grams of sugar in this can.
I mean, generally things that are called Kickstart are not in the energy drink line. Like, yeah. I'm gonna go see if. Sorry, is that safe for children? Just curious.
What?
Yes.
Probably.
Would you
Like I
let
said,
Jace drink it?
No.
not old.
Honestly, I would give this to Jace because it probably has less sugar and caffeine than the stuff he normally ingests.
That is fair. That guy likes to consume a lot of sugar, so that's fair.
My brother's got
Yes,
energy
sugar.
drinks upstairs, and I have sodas upstairs, and this is legitimately less caffeine and sugar than the soda.
All right, you've reached your soda limit. It's pop, by the way. No more mention of soda on this Canadian-based stream.
I'm gonna go full UK
Soft
here
drink.
and drink my
What are you guys
juice.
talking about? Soft drink.
Soft drink. Oh,
See, we're from the States and the Midwest. You just wouldn't understand.
yeah. Fair
That's
enough.
probably why Shawn got red flagged, because he just doesn't understand.
That must have been. I think it's black flag at this point. I think I've progressed through. I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to travel by any means
You know
in
what?
the United States.
Next time he comes through, we're gonna get him a Jolly Roger to fly over his shoulder.
That
There we
means
go.
something completely different.
Brian's just like, this does not mean what
He's like,
I
I'm
thought."
in the future, and this doesn't end well. So
No.
no,
Let's-
we'll end now, so we don't reach.
Let's
the
stop
future,
that one
so-
there.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for the chat. I do appreciate that. I like the chuckles after a long day at work, and hopefully people take less than half of what we said serious. But honestly, I think good conversation around all those things. So test our chess clocks. Let us know how they work. Battle Forces, I think a major plus. Model complexity, we're iffy on it, and we'll reserve judgment on swoop bikes for the future. So
And
Yeah.
Bernard needs a refresher on the rules.
yeah, no, fair enough. Bernard's always honest about being nice to Jace, so we are nice to Jace. Mostly.
Remember, no matter what I say, I'm bad at this game, but Ryan's worse. So,
That's
who crushed who at Dallas before the start?
Pally crushed him so bad that he couldn't even play
Shawn.
day 2.
Shawn.
Yeah, and Pally probably slipped me something in my food.
All right.
Brian's like, I gotta go.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Discussion for another time. You too.
Cheers.
Later.
Thanks, guys.